running just a little bit behind schedule here today. I'll blame JD Rader along with Ben Askren. Just a bit behind schedule.
That's okay.
But here we go. We're ready to wrestle right now, so we want to get things moving here. We've got Cooper Flynn in the red, and he is taking on Jore Volk in the blue.
Yeah, Jore Volk, Minnesota native, going to Wyoming in the fall. A guy he's been on the national scene his entire high school career, but really raised his stock this past year and is taking Flynn to the edge, but Flynn wisely pivoting, pulling the two grounded as they go out of bounds.
So as we mentioned, we got our challenge tournament finals. Those will be followed up by the actual best of 2 of 3 finals to decide some spots for the U20 national team.
That's right. Troy Spratley sitting in the finals at this weight. He won the U.S. Open, defeated Cooper Flynn 3-2 there in the semis, quarters or semis, I want to say.
Cooper Flynn wrestling for Virginia Tech, not today, but wrestles for their RTC. Had a big win in the semifinal round over Figueroa. Were you on the call for that round?
I was.
So Flynn, 3-2 winner.
Volk taking Flynn to the edge, and Flynn once again wisely pulling the two grounded, and now Volk pulling him up, so we will get a step out point. 2 actually, not just a step out, but the takedown for Jore Volk. Nice work.
So halfway through our first period, Volk with a 2-point lead. Flynn comes in with a hard left-hand club. Nice little attempt at a knee pull single, but Volk ready for it. Able to come out front, got him buried underneath with the front headlock. See how aggressive he is in this position.
Wait.
And the official stopped it for lack of action. We're coming back up to our feet.
And the two getting a little bit of a breather. Not the next day type thing. These guys had to go through the ringer and then win 2 matches against a guy who looked phenomenal at the Open.
Yeah, and you got to think if you're one of the guys actually wrestling today, man, you don't like that things are running behind schedule. Gives you less of a chance to recover and rest before you take on that best 2 of 3 finals. But we're back underway here. Under a minute to go in the first. shot by Flynn. Volk able to kick away. Volk trying to jack the underhook. Flynn does a nice job of working out of that position with some thumb blocks.
Volk likes to stay in that tight collar tie. He used it very effectively against Jezeroga. Was really able to slow Jezeroga down, locked him up in the collar tie ear to ear. Time winding down here in the first period. And that does it. Jore Volk out to a 2-0 lead. That takedown on the edge, the only points of the match so far.
Yeah, not a lot of scoring action or not a lot of close to scores other than that 2 points for Volk. Got to know that things will definitely pick up here though in a second.
Cody Brewer coaching up. Cooper Flynn. Pinnacle coach Paulson for Volk.
Already you see to start the second, definitely see a little bit more intensity than we saw in the first.
Volk has been controlling center for most of this match, but number of attacks definitely in favor of Cooper Flynn, and ooh, I think he took a shot to the eye pretty hard there. A big reaction from Cooper Flynn. So I was saying, number of attacks definitely in favor of Cooper Flynn. Volk got to be a little weary of that as we continue on. Potential for passives.
And it looks like Cooper Flynn's really trying to get that knees pull single going, where he's reaching with that right hand to the inside of Volk's right leg, trying to sweep in with his outside hand to get that head inside single. Hasn't been able to get there yet, but has definitely made several attempts. Volk's making it a little bit harder for him with that square stance and trying to keep his right leg back. Flynn tries to chase the corner a bit.
Both guys struggling to get past the head hands defense of the other so far.
Not only are these two wrestlers obviously pretty evenly matched, this is when you start thinking about putting the pressure on is trying to make a world team. These guys know what's at stake. They both want to crack that best of three finals a little later on this afternoon. Volk's got some blood coming out of his nose, so take some time to get that plugged up, get the mat cleaned up before we get back to action. As mentioned, Flynn with a 1-point lead win over Figueroa, also a 1-point victory for Andre Gonzalez in the quarterfinal round. Volk with a win earlier today over Robbie Howard from the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. I did see Howard, I believe it was Howard. I know it was a Penn State wrestler because I saw Coach Mark McKnight. I believe it was Howard though. Someone, I believe, significant arm injury. We saw earlier today, unfortunately. I think that was Robbie Howard.
Did not see that.
Flynn low on the leg, trying to build up. Volk was trying to kick him over to expose, but able just to kick over and get the 2 points. Goes right to a gut. He's got a low gut. We'll see if he can turn him. Looks like Flynn's trying to crawl out. Referee saw what I saw.
One blue.
We go caution and 1. We got more blood for Volk. So I think we'll set back up in parterre.
We will.
Coming back to the middle.
Just will not stop bleeding. Yeah, the caution and 1, a new point of emphasis for officials this season. Seen a lot both from parterre and from the feed. Gotta try and fight back in. Computer, the blood stoppages really kind of slowing down the rhythm of this match. We're going to be looking at a 20-minute match file here.
So we do set up back in the parterre position as Flynn was given a penalty, so they start back there. And Volk unable to do anything in that situation, so we'll go back up to our feet with under a minute to go in the period. See Flynn again trying to get that leg, but Volk just most of the time he's with that left leg lead, not giving it up to Flynn. There's Flynn again reaching for that. I think you got to go with something else at this point. Hasn't worked for him so far. Volk comes back over here.
More blood time.
To try to use up the whole roll of paper towels. Coach showing some excellent hustle. This isn't the first time that guy wiped blood off a mat. And all the blood isn't even off Volk, but at this point, who cares? 22 seconds to go. Let's get this thing finished.
That's what I'm saying too.
Oh, referee disagreed with me. He said, clean up that blood. So back to action, 20 seconds to go in the period. And again, Flynn not really close to scoring. I mean, firing off shots, but.
Ooh, nice little duck under, but I think Flynn's going to get the exposure. Just bulldoze Volk over. So Cooper Flynn not going down without a fight, not getting blanked, but this victory belongs to Jore Volk.
Yeah, I think if you're Cooper Flynn, you just got to figure out a different attack to the legs. Wasn't able to get that knee pull going, which usually he's really successful with, but Volk ready for it. Again, I'm not sure his normal stance, but he did a great job of keeping that right leg back and keeping it away from Flynn, and picks up the win. And he will move on to the best of 3 finals a little bit later.